Athletes playing in the NFL do everything they can to help their team stay competitive, doing what they can to win the Super Bowl and focusing on crafting a Hall of Fame career that'll enshrine them in Canton. There are also plenty of guys who are overlooked, who make sneaky good plays in their respective rosters and are vital to the team. And then, well, you got guys who are hyped up but can't quite deliver when it matters most. Sure, those guys have the stats to back up why they're talented, but many of these guys fall flat in the playoffs. They can be a one-year wonder, or they can just be inconsistent in the regular season. Some of these guys will be Hall of Famers who have had regular season success without success in the playoffs, while other guys on this list will be remembered as high-pick underachievers. So today, we're going to look at the most overrated players of the last decade and discuss why they're overrated. Kirk Cousins. Cousins may put up incredible regular season stats throughout his time in the league, but he has lacked postseason success, as he's 1-3 as a starter in the playoffs. Sure, Cousins' stats are impressive, but he's been very inconsistent during primetime games and has failed to deliver when it mattered the most. The only time Cousins earned a win in the playoffs was back in the 2019-2020 season when the Minnesota Vikings defeated the New Orleans Saints 26-20 in overtime in the wildcard round, but then lost to the San Francisco 49ers 27-10 in the divisional round. Cousins has also been paid high compensation under high-value contracts, but he's never delivered strong results, like what we saw when he was playing for the Atlanta Falcons during the 2024 season, going 7-7 as a starter, throwing 18 touchdowns against 16 interceptions. Cousins signed a massive 5-year, $172 million deal with $20 million being guaranteed with the Las Vegas Raiders, as he's likely going to be the starter for them in this upcoming season, while first-round pick Fernando Mendoza will watch from the sidelines and learn. Will Cousins find his groove with the silver and black in 2026? We'll just have to wait and see. Amari Cooper. Throughout his career, Cooper was viewed as a WR1 with the then Oakland Raiders and Dallas Cowboys, but he was inconsistent, as he was not known for dominating the pass attack. Sure, Cooper made 5 Pro Bowls in his career, but he didn't have that many consistent 1,000-yard seasons. Cooper was known to disappear in big moments that would have been game changers and notoriously dropped passes. Cooper was overvalued in trades, as many questioned whether he was a top-tier alpha receiver when he was traded to the Cowboys. Even when Cooper became a free agent, he still showed signs of concern, as many labeled him as an overrated option, with his name exceeding his actual performance value. In Cooper's final season with the Cleveland Browns and Buffalo Bills, he was a shell of his former self, catching 44 receptions for 547 yards and scoring 4 touchdowns with both teams. Cooper retired on September 4th, 2025, the start of the 2025 regular season, after playing in the NFL for 10 whole seasons. Kyle Pitts. When Kyle Pitts was drafted in 2021, he was expected to be the Falcons' next great tight end. While Pitts did have a 1,000-yard season in 2021, his numbers after that have been very inconsistent, as he failed to replicate that success in the following years. Pitts hasn't scored many touchdowns in his career so far, as he only has 15 touchdowns and has poor separation. People thought Kirk Cousins would help elevate Pitts' game to the next level when he joined the Falcons in 2024, but as we mentioned earlier, Cousins was just kind of average during his tenure with the team. Pitts has also dealt with poor coaching that uses his talent incorrectly, because I think he can flourish in the proper offensive system. It just wasn't seen in the Falcons in recent years. Can Kevin Stefanski get the best of Pitts? Maybe. We're just gonna have to see when the upcoming regular season kicks off. But the Falcons signed Pitts to a franchise tag for the 2026 season, as he likely has one more shot to make things work in Atlanta before another team maybe signs him and utilizes him in a better offense. Deebo Samuel. Samuel is a sneaky good slot receiver who saw success with the San Francisco 49ers at times. He helped the franchise reach Super Bowl 54 and Super Bowl 58, even though the team lost both those games to the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, Samuel produced one 1,000-yard season back in 2021, signed a 3-year, $73.5 million contract, showed some inconsistencies in his performance, and was traded to the Commanders in 2025, where he and the team really didn't make any impact. Samuel's dealt with injuries throughout his career and missed time during consecutive seasons. Samuel's rushing efficiency dipped off a cliff in 2024 to 3.1, compared to 6.2 in 2023, showing a serious reduction in his rushing. On top of that, when Christian McCaffrey joined the 49ers, the team started to rely on him slightly more than Samuel. Samuel is currently a free agent, but an NFL team needing a slot receiver will probably sign him, and maybe we see him rebound in 2026. Kyler Murray. When Kyler Murray was drafted back in 2019, the Arizona Cardinals thought that they had found their true, long-term franchise signal caller. And heck, Murray did show a lot of promise for the Redbirds, leading them to the playoffs in the 2021 season and was paid a 5-year, $230.5 million extension with the team. But oh boy, he immediately regressed after that one season. Murray has faced inconsistencies with his on-field performance, lack of playoff success, and injuries that have absolutely rocked his career. Murray also didn't make good decisions on the field, as he had trouble going through reads, high sack rates despite low pressure, and poor body language. Murray recently signed a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings and will compete for the starting job against J.J. McCarthy before the start of the 2026 season. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. took the NFL by storm with his iconic one-handed catch in primetime against the Dallas Cowboys during his rookie season. But ever since that moment, he just kind of regressed more and more. Yeah, sure, LBJ made 3 Pro Bowls during his time in the league, but he dealt with injuries like torn ACLs, and, well, those really hampered his career. LBJ had 5 1,000-yard seasons in the league, but he failed to reach over 1,100 yards in any season after 2018. OBJ also dealt with on and off the field antics, like kicking the net and proposing to the net after a 2016 game against the Baltimore Ravens, and of course, the infamous yacht picture days before the Giants wildcard game against the Green Bay Packers, which they lost. In 2021, he was traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Los Angeles Rams, where he helped them reach Super Bowl 56 against the Cincinnati Bengals. But he suffered a torn ACL in the game, though the Rams went on to win. When OBJ signed with the Miami Dolphins for 2024, it was really depressing to see him as a shell of his former self. He played in only 9 games, catching 9 receptions for 55 yards and not scoring a single touchdown. OBJ hasn't retired from the league just yet, and he's still looking to play for 2026. However, a lot of teams have moved on to other younger, more talented wideouts like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, just to name a few. Heck, we'd love to see OBJ sign with a contender and try to earn one more Super Bowl ring, but honestly, it might be time for him to call it quits. Joey Bosa. Bosa is talented as a defensive end. Heck, he made 5 Pro Bowls so far in his career and was the forced fumbles leader with the Buffalo Bills in 2025. Unfortunately, Bosa has missed significant time with nagging injuries throughout his career, appearing in a fraction of games, making him a high-risk part-time player. Bosa has also failed to reach double-digit sacks since the 2021 season, and his pressure rate has dropped significantly. Bosa was one of the highest-paid defenders in the league by 2020, but he has really struggled to maintain his performance in key games. On top of that, Bosa has had a lack of impact in recent games compared to other more elite defensive ends like Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Micah Parsons, and Aiden Hutchinson. Bosa is currently a free agent, but a team that needs a defensive end will probably sign Bosa before or during the 2026 season. Trevor Lawrence. The Jacksonville Jaguars drafted Lawrence with the expectation of him being a generational talent for the franchise. Sure, he made the 2022 Pro Bowl and led the Jaguars to the playoffs twice so far in his career, but he has been very inconsistent, often delivering very mediocre results. Lawrence has struggled with consistency and turnover issues throughout his entire career, as he threw a league-high 17 interceptions in his rookie year. After Lawrence signed a 5-year, $275 million extension in 2024, he struggled and he dealt with a torn ACL joint and a concussion after getting brutally hit by Azeez Al-Shaair. Lawrence did improve in 2025, throwing for over 4,000 yards and throwing 29 touchdowns against 12 interceptions as he led the Jaguars to first place in the AFC South, but Lawrence has also struggled under pressure, as he was sacked 41 times in 2025, and he has a history of making very poor decisions under pressure and panicking when the pocket collapses. That has to improve in 2026. Will Lawrence continue to improve upon his 2025 season? Well, we're just all gonna have to wait and see. But until then, well, it's hard to hold him in a particularly high regard. Tremaine Edmunds. Edmunds is labeled as overrated due to his high-salaried contract and not delivering on his on-field impact. Edmunds' tackle numbers are solid, sure, but he doesn't make enough game-altering plays like sacks or forced fumbles that'll change the outcome of a game. Edmunds made 2 Pro Bowls in his career, but they were back in 2019 and 2020 and scored the league's only safety in the 2019 season. Since then, he hasn't even had a double-digit sack season at all since he entered the NFL. Critics have actually gone after Edmunds for his inconsistent run-game performance, as he's failed to fill in gaps and shed blocks. Edmunds earned a 66.4 grade from Pro Football Focus after the 2025 season, 34th out of 88 linebackers, which, is not great, especially due to his low sack numbers. But hey, it could have been worse. Edmunds recently signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with the New York Giants as he'll join a defense with Abdul Carter. But will he improve his sack numbers with the G-Men? Well, only time will tell. Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney's considered an overrated player, as his professional career never really matched his collegiate days with the South Carolina Gamecocks, where he had a ton of hype from how elite he was going after opposing offenses. Many people say the hype started after Clowney tackled Michigan running back Vincent Smith, knocking his helmet off in the fourth quarter of the 2013 Outback Bowl. The Gamecocks would go on to win that game 33-28. Clowney did make 3 Pro Bowls during his time with the Houston Texans, but he's now bouncing around the league and well, he's been bouncing around for a while. He's had stints with the Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, and most recently, the Dallas Cowboys. Kind of like Joey Bosa, Clowney is inconsistent when it comes to getting sacks, as he hasn't had a season with 9 sacks since 2023. Clowney's also lacked intensity and fails to dominate opposing blockers, which is disappointing because he was electrifying with the South Carolina Gamecocks, as we mentioned earlier. Clowney did have 8.5 sacks in the 2025 season, but the Cowboys' defense was a mess under defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. Injuries have impacted Clowney's career as he's dealt with injuries throughout his professional career. He had a torn meniscus in his rookie year, had knee surgery after 2017, and a knee injury in the 2020 season with the Titans. Clowney's currently a free agent, but a team needing a defensive end will probably sign him before the start or during the 2026 regular season. But hey, who do you think is one of the most overrated players over the past decade? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.